This next question here, it's a difficult question. It's obviously personal, and I've known a lot of people to ask similar questions. Please comment on what happens to babies, the unborn, and very young children in heaven. Will they be adults? Will we recognize them?
Yeah. This is one of those times that I find myself just wishing that there was a text, a passage somewhere in the Bible that just directly and clearly talked about it. It doesn't.
Right.
It just doesn't. I understand the appeal. I understand the gravitational pull of just wanting crystal clear clarity on this. There is not a text, there is not a passage anywhere in the Old or New Testament that talks about this directly. This is one of those areas where we're simply just going to have to just trust in God. We're going to have to trust that He is loving. We're going to have to trust that He is good. And we're going to have to trust that He is incredibly wise, that He is the source of all wisdom. So that whatever the answer is, it is absolutely loving. It is absolutely good. I'm okay trusting that. I hope whoever's watching this is okay trusting. God, I trust that you are good. I trust that you're loving, whatever the answer is, even though your word doesn't address it directly, maybe not even indirectly. I trust that whatever whatever you do, it is good and loving, and it is better than what I would do, and it is more loving than what I would do. It's better than what you would do.
Absolutely.
And it's more loving than what you would do, because He is holiness, He is goodness, He is love. So let's start there. Now, do people infer certain viewpoints based on what they read? Yes. Here's one or two inferences. We're going to go back to the Old Testament when David's son that he had with Bathsheba died. In his prayer, he states that he'll see him again. Now, there's a variety of viewpoints on that, but many people have said, you know what, this is something in the Bible that indicates that that infants, that the unborn, that those who are not able to understand are safe in God's care and in God's hands. I understand why people make that inference. I don't want to make a strong statement either way. I just don't. But I will say this. I trust whatever God does is good, and it is loving. It's not only just good, it's best. It's not just loving, it's the most loving thing. I trust Him with that, and I think we can too. Clearly, Jesus cared about kids, and he got pretty hot when even His own disciples were not honoring children. And so, if you read through the Old Testament, that God has a special place in His heart for people who are in vulnerable positions. Clearly, the unborn, clearly babies, the very young are in vulnerable positions. I think we can trust that they are close to God's heart. I'm not concerned about that. Now, how old are you when you go to heaven? Whether you die when you're 6 months old or 16 or 66 or whatever, there is nothing that clearly indicates exactly how old you're going to be or what, but it's a glorified body. It seems to be great. You know, when we read Revelation, John has a view of what's happening in heaven, and he sees people. They're not. He doesn't give a detailed description, but based on what we see and based on the way that the Apostle Paul talked about what it's going to be like in a glorified state when we are with Christ face to face, I think it's going to be great. And I think you're going to love it because God is good and He is loving. And I'm not worried about it. I kind of hope that I have a six-pack. I don't know if there are six-packs in heaven. I've never achieved a six-pack.
Okay.
And I hope for that. But if you're asking this question in an academic sense, it's fun to speculate. I think we're all kind of going to be at the same maturity level, the same awesomeness level, if you will. I don't know a better way to describe it. It's going to be pretty awesome. If you're asking this question for personal reasons, maybe because of loss, you can trust the heart of God. You can trust that whatever He does is best and is the most loving response. And I hope that gives you encouragement.
Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you.